ጤና ይስጥልኝ ክብራንና ክብራን ተመልካቾቻችን እንኳን ለ2013 በሰላም አደረሳችሁ። ይህ ሁሉ ጊዜ በየሳምንቱ የሚቀርብላችሁ የኢትዮ ዩዝ ሚዲያ ፕሮግራማችን ነው። ዛሬ የክብር እንግዳችን ኤሪን ካትስ ትባላለች። እሷም ዛሬ የቀረበችው በአካባቢያችን በሲያትል አካባቢና በኮሚኒቲያችን ውስጥ ትልቅ አስተዋጽኦ ስለሚያደርጉ ሴቶች ዶክመንተሪ ለመስራት ዝግጁ ላይ ናት እና ስለሱ ቃለ ምልልስ እናደርጋለን። በእንግሊዘኛ ነው የሚሆነው። አብራችሁ ቆዩ። Miss Erin Katz, first and foremost, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I have been living in Seattle since 1995, and in the last 15 years, decided to get into documentary filmmaking because I felt like there's so many important stories to tell, and became a documentary filmmaker and taught it for the last 10 years, both fiction and nonfiction storytelling. And then in the last year moved to KCTS 9, which is the local PBS station, to start a new project there to teach people how to make films, which I'm sure we're going to talk more about.
Right.
So, yeah.
What advice do you have for young people who are passionate about filmmaking?
I think that there's several things. One is that you just need to go and do it. I think it's easy to get hung up on the cameras and the devices and all the technology, but the most important thing is to have a story to tell and to learn how to tell the story, and what camera you use to do that and what equipment you use to do that is less important than the story itself. And we're really lucky in Seattle. There's a lot of resources for young people who are interested in getting involved in filmmaking. So I would say to reach out and look for the organizations and the programs that are out there, like here, that give you a community of people to work with and connect with who are similar interests, because it's not something you do alone, it's something you do in community with others. So get involved with your community, find the people who have similar interests, and get a project going.
Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the upcoming documentary named Makers.
Yeah.
What motivated you at KCTS to create a project based upon highlighting women who are impactful in your community?
That's a great question. There is a national documentary being released in February called Makers, which is about women who have been the makers of the last 50 years and have profoundly changed the way our society operates. Because if you change the way women are, you change everything, because we're half the population.
Right.
So that documentary is coming out, and we thought this would be a great opportunity to do something on a local level to highlight the women who are making an impact on our community. And the way that we see that is there's the obvious names of people who, Melinda Gates or Christine Gregoire, who are known public figures, but we're also interested in the people who just in every day make a difference by doing something they feel is important, and every step they take is the step that makes the change. So they may not see themselves as a maker, but really they are in the hearts of the people who are here. So what we're doing in conjunction with that documentary is we've started in the last couple of months something called the 9 Media Lab, which is a classroom that is sited at KCTS that is grassroots filmmaking. It brings people in from our region to learn the skills of storytelling that I just talked about, and the technical skills, and go out and make the stories about what they see as relevant. So we have an opportunity for 40 girls and mentors to come to KCTS, learn those skills, and tell the stories of the women that are impactful in their world and their community.
So this is actually a great opportunity for particularly young girls to be involved in filmmaking, and so they get to pick their mentors and interview them and learn the tricks about filmmaking and whatnot.
Yeah, so different organizations like that, which we're talking to here, that there'll be a female mentor and young people who are interested in learning the skills, and be a group together who identify these important women in their lives. And we will teach them the skills about what makes a good interview, how do you do that, how do you shoot that. We have equipment there, video audio editing equipment.
So they get to be in KCTS?
They get to be in KCTS, they get to use our equipment, go out into the field, they get a tour of the studio and get to see something about how public television works on the inside, and then tell these stories and learn how to edit them. In the end, those stories will be featured on the KCTS 9 website to share out to our larger viewership. And we'll have a culminating event to celebrate not only the girls who did these projects, but their mentors and the people they identify as makers.
What is the age limit to be involved in this project for the girls?
Teenagers, I would say. We're not being very rigid about it, but I would say, middle school and high school age, and then an adult mentor who can work with them to help facilitate their process in the field, meaning when they go out to do the interviews with the people they identify.
And how long does this project take?
It's going to start on January 21st and run through mid-March. And we'll meet once a week to learn the skills, and then students will take the equipment out and shoot the projects and come back and learn how to edit those. So mostly it'll be meeting one afternoon or one evening a week for 2 months, and then a couple of extra days where we have do some more intensive work. But mostly it's once a week.
All right, well, it sounds like a great opportunity. So why is it important for young girls to create their own media?
Well, I think it's important because media is so impactful on the way that we understand the world that we live in. And despite all the changes and advances for women, media predominantly is controlled by men. So it's really important to hear the perspectives of girls and women, because they're not always getting heard, because they're not controlling the media for the most part. So that's one thing that needs to change. The media should represent all groups. And also, I think that media can be a positive force in terms of communication, but it also can be a negative force. And particularly for girls, there's a lot of images that are on the media that are hurtful or objectify girls, and even more so than I think it's good for girls to tell the story they want to tell about who they are and what it means to be a girl and a woman in our society, because it's combating a lot of things that are not helpful or not positive about girls.
Okay. So if there are girls that are interested in being a part of this amazing project that you have coming up, how do they start?
Well, what they should do is contact MMRTI. We're working through partner organizations, and I know this is a great organization to get involved with. So MMRTI is aware of how to get involved and contact me, and is putting together groups right now that will participate. So call here.
Call MMRTI.
Call MMRTI.
What are your future plans in partnering with MMRTI?
Well, that's interesting. So this is we're just opening the 9 Media Lab. Makers is our very first project. So on this project, we're working specifically with girls in conjunction with the documentary. But this is just the beginning. There's going to be lots of opportunities for community partners and interested people in the public to come in and get involved with KCTS in other projects coming down the road with the 9 Media Lab. Which I will continue to be in touch with the partner organizations and let people know about those opportunities as this new program unfolds. But that's the purpose of the program, to allow and teach skills to the community to tell their own stories. So this time it's girls, next time it may be adults, it may be boys, and we're kind of doing it on a project by project basis.
And is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up?
I just thank you for inviting me here and have this opportunity. I really hope that we can work together, and that there's a group that comes in to public television and gets involved with the Makers Project. I really look forward to it. And thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. እንግዲህ ተመልካቾቻችን አሁን እንደሰማችሁት የቻናል 9 KCTS ፕሮግራም ማናጀር እንደተናገረችው ሜከርስ በሚባለው ዶክመንተሪ መሳተፍ የምትፈልጉ ወጣቶች ካላችሁ በስልክ ቁጥራችን የስክሪኑ ላይ እንደምታዩት እየደወላችሁ ተመዝገቡ። ተመልካቾቻችን አዲሱ ዓመት የሰላም፣ የፍቅር፣ የጤና እንደዚሁም የድህንነት እንዲሆንላችሁ እየተመኘን በዚሁ ፕሮግራማችንን እናጠቃልላለን። መልካም ቆይታ።